Welcome to the 140th broadcast of the T-Row Show. It's your host, Keith. I got John with me.
Good morning, folks.
What we're going to talk about today are unions. And I've been meaning to talk about this for the last couple of shows, or 3 or 4 shows, I guess. But just never got to it until one of the American Nationals found a book that we needed to read. And it was about the original Continental Congress in 1774. And it had some interesting excerpts about it. And we're going to talk about that today and what happened from that point to today and why today you have so many issues. Okay? So what we're going to do here is we're going to share. And this is the part of the book. And if you see the word or the letter F, actually is an S today. This is on page 80 of 86 of 92. We do not ask you by this address to commence acts of hostility against the government of our common sovereign. This is back when they were not states yet. We only invite you to consult your own glory and welfare and not to suffer yourselves to be veiled, I don't know what that is, intimidated by infamous ministers so far as to become the instruments of their cruelty and despotism, but to unite with us in one social compact. Right here. Formed on the generous principles of equal liberty and cemented by such an exchange of beneficial and endearing offices, and to render it perpetual. Because that's what started the Perpetual Union of 1781 under the Articles of Confederation. Now, what they've got here is a Bill of Rights. Okay, the book is called Extracts from the Votes and Proceedings of the American Continental Congress held at Philadelphia on the 5th of September, 1774, containing Bill of Rights. See, this is where the original Bill of Rights was. And this is the actual Bill of Rights that apply to the people here. Not the people of the United States. We're talking about the inhabitants, the people that aren't a part of anything, any form of a social compact where you never signed anything. Okay? And a lot of people don't realize that they have to have an actual competency certificate in order to be a U.S. citizen. So that was important too. Published by order of the Congress, Philadelphia printed. Okay? I want to show you a few things about the first Bill of Rights. Okay, so it has here that the inhabitants of the English colonies in North America, by the immutable laws of nature, the principles of the English Constitution, and several charters or compacts, have the following rights resolved. That they are entitled to life, liberty, and property, and that they have never ceded to any sovereign power, whatever, the right to dispose of either without their consent. It says, thus our ancestors who first settled these colonies, and it goes on like this. And that's where they got the life, liberty, and then they changed it to pursuit of happiness, because the federal didn't want to give people property. They wanted to take it. So they didn't want to give them the right of property. They just wanted to say the right of pursuit of happiness. That's why they removed that. So, and then and they talk about their ancestors and all this other stuff. And it's a very old book. The foundation of the English liberty and all free government is a right of the people to participate in their legislative council. Okay, so it goes on like that, and then it has its original social compact. The original social compact were the Articles of Association of 1774, and that was the original Continental Congress. And they threatened to reconvene. There's like, okay, you want to play games, want to give us a bunch of crap, because they knew the power of trade unions. And one of the trade unions, which was an international trade union, was the East India Trading Company. That was a part of an international trading union. Now, international trading unions are extremely powerful. National trading unions are extremely powerful. And this is what we're trying to get a hold of people's attention so that they understand what's going on around them and they know what to actually do. So if you this is from another country, but this is the basics of independent trade unions. Trade unions are independent in their activity from public authorities at all levels, from political parties, non-governmental associations, which means you don't have to listen to the Republicans and Democrats anymore. You can give them the frickin' finger. All right. Non-governmental association. You can tell the UN to go to hell because that's what that is there. Employers and their associations. You can get sick and tired of people, the employers of this country, start your own business and all that stuff, shall fall under their control and not subordinate. Okay. Any interference that would restrict trade union rights or prevent their execution shall be prohibited. Unions are equal in rights and can collaborate with any union centers, including other countries. Okay. So international trade unions, regional, and other similar organizations. Now, international trade unions are extremely powerful entities. So an independent union is a trade union that represents workers on one plant of a company and is free of employer control. This includes a union representing workers in more than one plant located in 2 or more states but employed by the same employer. A national independent union is a union of a national character not affiliated with AFL or CIO. Okay, so basically all unions that are created in the United States are affiliated or under AFL-CIO, which is under the Federal Department of Labor. National ones are not. They have nothing to do with it. They're completely separate and independent and autonomous in all their trade. The American, now here's your problem, okay, in America. This is who's attacking the basic rules of the country right now. This is who is in charge of a lot of things, and this is who uh, uh, who thrives the Democrat and Republican 527 companies that are playing political party. They are basically under the control of the AFL-CIO. So it says the American Federation of Labor and Congress of Industrial Organizations, AFL-CIO, is the largest federation of unions in the United States. It is made up of 55 national and international unions, together representing more than 12 million active and retired workers. The AFL-CIO engages in substantial political spending and activism, typically in support of Democrats and liberal and progressive policies. Now, liberal and progressive policies, just say in support of Democrats and socialist and communist policies. That's what that actually reads. They just call it liberal and social and progressive policies, socialist and communist policies. That's what's happening. It's coming from the AFL-CIO. That's a labor union. You can't stop them from doing what they're doing. They're actually changing the political structure of the country, trying to. People don't want it. But these trade unions get pretty powerful. So they're actually being blamed on by some talk show host around the country as being blamed on large companies and globalists and crap like that. That's not what's happening. Not large corporations are doing that. Those large corporations are part of the AFL-CIO. They're part of the labor unions. So you have an idea of what's going on here and what they can actually do. Now, independence of a trade union is one of the most essential components needed to give it full rights given by law to trade unions. The other is the union should be a recognized trade union. Government Communications Staff Federation, the Government Communications Headquarters, is an example of a union which failed to establish itself as an independent trade union because it is liable for interference by an employer. In the 1996 annual report of the certification officer, but note that as so far as this particular case is concerned. In September 1997, the government Foreign Office recognized GCFSF, now known as GCHQ, Group of the Public Service. Tax and Commerce Union for the for consultation and negotiation of matters exclusive to GCHQ, in return for a formal union agreement not to take any industrial action that would disrupt their operations. Okay. Now, if you don't like uh, it says here, it says in recognition, no formal steps are legally required for a trade union to qualify as independent. However, unlike the recognition, there is a statutory provision for a trade union. Okay. Um, to apply for a formal certificate of independence, but you don't really need that crap. It's the same thing as an association. An association has full independence from everything that it gets itself. Like unions are equal rights and can collaborate with any trade union centers. They're independent in their activity of public authorities at all levels, from political parties, non-governmental associations, employers, and their associations. Okay, shall not fall under any control and not subordinate. So what we did was that original union, because the 1789 says, oh, we want to create a more perfect union. Then people were just automatically thinking, oh, they're talking about the states. And that's kind of not what they were talking about. They were talking about trade unions. But that's open for argument because it doesn't really tell anybody anything, does it? What you have to do is kind of look at it for what it is, and in order to enlighten yourself as to what's happening in front of you, you'll realize that all unions that come together today are under the AFL-CIO, which are under the Department of Labor of the federal corporation. That means that they're mainly unions. They're union bosses in that company, and people vote for the union boss and the CEO of the union, organization. Okay, so it's not a country. It just operates like operates the trade unions, which they believe were more powerful. So you saw the 1774 book talking about the United States and Congress assembled, or I'm sorry, the original Continental Congress that created this trade union. Well, that same trade union from the 1774 is right here. We took that original one and we brought it forward to the present time because it was basically that trade union was abandoned. So what we do is right now is we do a original union resident declaration. So you're basically going into the original union, and you do that original union resident declaration. And what happens is that instead of going and reestablishing your states, which a lot of people couldn't do, we kept those in trust, and we just move you forward to this particular trade union here. It's a national and international trade union. It's completely separate and autonomous. It has its own money, which is the continental dollar. It has a national government that deals in international affairs, that's subject to the law of nations. It has other national governments that has the potential of being operated by assemblies on the local levels that can register with those national governments and be a part of the ANU. You'll notice that the lawyers union, they have the American National Union right here of the United States of America. So there's a press union there. You'll notice that. Okay, let's put this over. There's an automotive union within the American National Union of the United States of America. There's the music production union, the business services union, and then there's the American National Union, then the agricultural union, lawyers union, press union, goes on, okay? And we have other unions in there, and this is where we have joined the American National Press Union. If you go in and you notice in our newspapers, that'll come up there in a minute. you'll see the American National Press Union Code of Ethics. We have a constitution and bylaws, just like everybody else does. It's a public type union, and it's a trade union. So it's within the United States of America, which was the original Articles of Confederation. So what we figured out was the reason why this country was going downhill is because of these friggin' unions that they were putting in. And these people were slowly going towards communism and socialism. And we even know and have heard directly from, not or indirectly, let's put it that way. I haven't directly talked to these people, but the 9 baron families that own the railroads, they don't even want to go to socialism and communism. Nobody does. Nobody wants to live in a communist country. But the communists are getting ready to attack. Okay, they're getting ready to go after things. So this has nothing to do with Christianity, has nothing to do with anything. This dealt with trade unions, and this dealt with what started the American Revolution was this new union in 1774 started the Boston Tea Party deal, where they threw East India Trading Company's tea in the harbor. And the East India Trading Company was an international trade company that got special preference from the King of England on as far as taxes and duties on their tea. That's what pissed everybody off and got them moving. Then they went to the American Revolution, and they went there, and then they were only basically in trade and commerce under their trade union for about 8-9 years, and then they said, "Oh, well, we got to form a more perfect union. We got to get the British King back in here, you know." We got to get the East India Trading Company back in here. So what are we going to do? We're going to go from the Virginia Company. We'll merge that in with the East India Trading Company and call it the United States of America and throw it into a constitution and all this BS. Okay, so the original union and labor union was still there. That's what this is here today. And we took its original articles of association, we revamped them, we amended them, and then we redid its constitution and bylaws. And then we started moving forward. And what we did is we made it to where you had the American National Union, which is the main one. And then you could make sub-unions within the American National Union. And it's basically a bottom-up type situation. It's a republic form, which means each union, the members are the ones that vote on everything. Everybody has a basic elections and a vote and all that whole deal. So even if you have a resident declaration and American national status, your business is a member of that union. Not necessarily you, but your business is a member of this American National Union. And that's how you get in. That's how you join it. So even if it's your name operating as a private membership association of families, or your name's operated like an LLC or incorporated, that would qualify your person would qualify as a member. So that's why when you do a resident declaration, you go directly over to registering your person as a business or something of that nature. So even if you don't have another business in mind, that you do at least have some kind of business that can join the original union of 1774. That's first in time, first in right. Which means nobody can mess with you if you understand how to um, how to what do you call it? Defend it in any court setting. It doesn't matter whose jurisdiction it is or anything. It's this is how the United Nations is set up. This is how all these companies are set up. This is how this New World Order is set up. It's all based on trade unions. And here's the code of ethics for the reporters for the American National Press Union. So the Rain of Heaven Society Post is a part of the American National Press Union. You want to protect your business from all this BS that's going on, that the crap is going on with the Democrats. You can do a resident declaration, and then your business can open a franchise in this union here. You can operate just like you do anywhere else. Just go ahead and put your seal up on your on whatever union you have there, American National Union. They'll help you set it up if one of the unions are not in there. And there's also the titles and everything in the original Constitution that tells you what unions can be formed and under what. So gun manufacturers having troubles and everything else, just open up a franchise in this particular American National Union. That's all you got to do. And um, lawyers that want to, that were kicked out of the bar, you can come over here, go into lawyers union if you want. They can't stop you from practicing law in the lawyers union. You're in a completely separate trade union, and you're autonomous from their bullshit, basically. So they're trying to change laws over to socialism and communism and all this other crap. Go right ahead. Doesn't matter to us because we're part of a separate trade union. Everybody get that? So if your franchise is over here and you guys are operating in your franchise foreign, and then the business that's within the other trade union and within the U.S. basically doesn't do any business over there, it does business over here, then what's the problem? You see any problem with that, John?
I don't see any problem with it at all. The fact is, that's basically the way it's supposed to go.
Yeah. And we have our own American National Union Transportation Administration, where you can get, you can get your American National IDs, your resident IDs, all those type of things. And any cop messes with you, no problem. We'll just hit them with they're violating basic trade union laws all over the country. You can't screw with another trade union in your activities. Nobody can. It's mainly now if they do it, fine. We're gonna rock and roll on your ass, no problem. Got human rights violations. You got forced association violations. You got all kinds of crap that you can hit them with. And we got plenty of people that have joined these unions. We also operate on NAMPT, which is generalpostoffice.org/NAMP, and that's under the party.
Come on, Keith.
Yeah, the North American National Party is what that website operates under. The North American National Party is a political party. It's within a separate trade union. So we have all the stuff that we need to, and the original name of the country and everything else, and to push back these communists to realize that your way ain't going to work. It's never going to work. Our money is not associated with any of those other trade unions. So they can write contracts with us. They want to get out of this mess they're in. They can work with us, but we're not going to allow them to take it over. So they can trash it like they've done theirs. Horribly run, horribly operated, horribly arbitrated. More laws than anybody cares to think about. More trade laws and trade union laws and crap. There's nothing. It's all BS. The whole system is a friggin' crap hole. And they're trying to get rid of your guns so they can bring another trade union in, and so that because that's what's going on with Islam. They're bringing another trade union in, and they want those workers to work in the companies and all that. And you hear Trump constantly talking about wanting more workers to come in because all businesses are coming back here. He keeps saying that, but I don't see it happening. I don't think anybody else does either. But that's all it is, just trade unions. That's all that's happening. So if people realize that, and realize that there's the original national union, and that you guys were trafficked over to a completely separate union, thinking that that was your God-given right of country under the divinely inspired Constitution, which I don't believe it was. I don't think it had anything to do with religion. You basically went into the British American Union. That's where you were brought, and that's where that Constitution is. It's within the British American Union. We've read that in the past. We've shown it to you where it's called the British American Union. And if, the British is the British, that's what it is. Has to do with the city of London and all those guys, the three city-state empire. So we've been trying to get people to understand this, and when that book came out, or the book was shown to us, and it talked about the social compact. Um, we went and looked it up, and there was a guy that brought that information to us through the pawn shop, Pawn Stars, or whatever it's called, and we read it, and I go, there it is. There's your original social compact, which formed the whole country. That was the original one.
Keith, would you say that the Democratic Party would be one union and the Republican Party would be another union?
Could be.
Then why is one union attacking the other?
Right.
And that's completely in violation of the laws of both unions.
Yes, it would be.
Therefore,
Go ahead.
therefore, they could be brought up on charges by the other union, but they haven't done it yet.
International charges, yeah.
Yeah.
Because these two guys, they're just going at each other, man. It is unbelievable. And believe me, folks, what people in their Democratic Party don't understand is like Nadler and guys like that. Nobody's going to follow your sorry asses. You guys have made such a mess of yourselves. Nobody's going to follow you, and that's what it takes. Nobody's going to go for open borders. Nobody's going to go for any of that crap. And you guys are trying to start a war. You're trying to start revolution. You're trying to start civil unrest. You know, we know what's going on with the freaking guns and who's going in there and all this other kind of crap. And we're sitting here watching you do this, and you look like a bunch of freaking turd blossoms is basically how I describe it. You're idiots. Complete idiots. Nobody. You're an embarrassment to the whole country. You are an embarrassment. In other words, the simple fact that all you guys exist in Washington, you are embarrassing to everybody. CNN, MSNBC, all you guys are committing hate crimes. You're embarrassing everybody. You're embarrassing us, all the people. Other countries are looking at us like you're a bunch of friggin' turds. Idiots. You look like morons over there. Okay? You've got a guy, you know how many people in other countries were shocked when you guys went to the partial birth abortions and all this crap? You're signing crap like that in? Killing your own freaking infants and children? You're sick. And you're embarrassing. You're an embarrassment. This is what we told Obama and Hillary back in 2012 and 13 when they said, "Oh, well, those people just talking about us. Those people just are, they want to be a part of us. They envy us." No, we didn't. We put out a newspaper basically saying, "No, you guys embarrass us. You do not represent us in any way, shape, or form. We're doing this to try to get away from you. We don't envy you at all." I'm sure you remember that, John. We went through that thing.
Yes, I did very well remember that one.
But in order to try to talk to everybody, Hillary was coming out saying, "Oh, well, they just want to be like us." No, we don't, Hillary. Believe me. Nothing like you, baby.
No, thank you. I don't be nothing like any one of them in D.C.
And right now, it's just a total joke. And they're acting like, okay, all it is some people got pissed off because the right person didn't get into an office that they wanted to get into an office. And the communists are upset because they said it's going to reverse 50 years of their work. Well, go back to 1948. The lawyers, came in under the Bar Treaty. And that's when the communists came in. And they took over earlier than that, a little bit earlier, but not much. And even lawyers have told us that that's when the country was taken over by communists, which is 1947 and 48. And it's going to reverse all your work. What? You thought we were going to all convert to communism? Really, guys? Seriously? You really thought that? And then when you guys declared everything communism, that you didn't think that you were going to be expelled from the country by the people. Watch out for the red flag laws, folks, because those are murder laws. They legalize murder. That's all they're doing. Blood has already been shed over that, the red flag laws. All it is communists trying to take guns so they can take over, and you can't stop them. Well, there are over 300 million guns in this country and a lot more ammunition than that. I don't think you're going to succeed at that particular thing. Do you really think because some jackwit comes out and says, well, I'm going to ban guns, I don't give a damn what you're going to do, come take them. All you're going to do is get your people killed. That's all you're going to do. Because people eventually won't deal with it. You're not taking their way to defend themselves. It's illegal to do that. What you're literally trying to do, though, your trade union is trying to destroy the country. Why? No idea, other than putting in your Luciferian uh, whatever the hell it is, society in and all that crap.
You want to take it up to the next level, Keith?
Sure, go ahead.
Okay, the U.S. put in the U.S. dollar, the Federal Reserve, which is a national banking system. Any country in the world that has U.S. dollar or national banking and uses a reserve currency of the U.S., they just join that union.
Yep.
They unionize the money throughout the world, and that's the way they're controlling all the other nations within the world. Because if any of them object to it, they just put trade sanctions on them under the union and cut the money off.
Yeah, we found the same trade union stuff in Russia.
Yep.
We found it in a bunch of different countries, all set up the same exact way. That their basic NWO is one massive trade union. They put up a puppet government, make it appear as if it has power, and then like a world government, and everybody, all the companies and within the that were registered with the stock market are operating as corporations, and they run the trade unions within the states, and then they have all the control of all the natural resources of the world, and that's how it runs. So doing little teeny paperwork and stuff like that, like I don't know, we've seen some really crappy things, stupid things, basically around the internet. Doing all that little paperwork and stuff's not going to help you. It's not going to help at all. You have to get into a trade union. That's why we changed it. We closed down 15 states, threw them back in trust, and then just started with the union so people could understand what's going on worldwide and what they need to do in order to get what they want. Because you're tired of people screwing around with your work. You're tired of the cops screwing around with you because that's that other trade union's cops. That trade union provides police unions for them. Get it? There's police unions. They're all part of the FOP. By the way, the Fraternal Order of Police is highly illegal, but no big deal. That's another trade union. I don't care what they are. Just don't mess with us. We have our own police. They're called human rights defenders. And we have our own militias, which is the Continental Army. And we've got all this stuff. Everything's there. It's there. It's been done, taken care of. It's all no issues whatsoever. All you got to do is just do a resident declaration, move your ass right on over there and start a business, or move right over to the ANU and start meeting on Tuesday nights. And they have a open committee. And each individual union has its own great council, and all the people vote for their own great council. And the main ANU is set up as a settlement board, just letting everybody know. So if there's two unions that they're having issues, they go to the main union, ANU, American National Union, Great Council, and settle whatever trade issues they're having. That's what it's for. It's arbitration and things like that. You're making up your own rules. You have your own bylaws. You have your own everything. You have full control over your industry. You don't have these crazy Democrats and Republicans in charge of your industry. They're not making rules and laws for you. It's a total joke. You don't have to give them a shitload of money to pass certain laws. All that crap's gone. All you got to do is just go abide by your constitution and bylaws, and that's all. And you're writing them. And we even have a generic constitution and bylaws for you. All you got to do is fill in the blanks, and then everybody can meet and start doing what they want to do. It's pure freedom, man. That was the way it was meant to be.
Yep,
We even have a defend yourself. What was it? What act did we put in there? There's an act to where Americans and American nationals could define them or defend themselves with whatever they want to defend themselves with. In other words, you could put a tank in your backyard if you wanted to.
that comes under the Continental Army and under the militia.
Yeah.
There is no restriction on what type or how you keep it.
Yeah, any weapons, whatever you want, doesn't matter.
If you can afford it and you've got a place to park it, it's yours.
Exactly. You put a tank in your backyard if you want.
Put a B-36 back there if there's room for it. Get Puff to make it Magic Dragon. Set it back here to be perfectly legal.
That's right. And we actually legalized all drugs, didn't we?
Yes, we did.
Yep. No matter what it was. Didn't matter what it was. Opium, heroin, whatever. Most people are using heroin in hospitals anyways. For pain and stuff like that. All that stuff's legal.
Yeah, morphine made out of opium. So
yeah, morphine's made out of opium.
Yep.
So all that stuff's legalized within the United States of America, within the states of the Union, and within the American National Union. We don't have any restrictions on this stuff, because when you do, that's when you cause you get your drug cartels. If you could go buy heroin at the freaking store, then it'd be a whole different story, wouldn't it? Use at your own risk, you know. I mean, we're not going to be reliable for it.
Yeah, you used to be able to do that. Go to the drugstore and buy patent medicine. Mm-hmm. All patent medicine made with opium. And then they took patent medicine off the shelf. Now dope trade went into effect.
Yep, and then you've got a 80,000 member, which were I can't remember the name of the organization, but there are 80,000 cops and drug agencies, drug agents, you know, former ones, that are against prohibition on drugs and against the drug war. They want to legalize all of them because statistically, a country that has legalized all drugs have the least amount of drug problems. Statistically, that's exactly what's happening. Amsterdam, the least amount of people addicted to drugs. All that stuff goes away.
Same thing with gun laws. If everybody out there has got one out there, you won't ever start shooting because you don't know who can shoot back.
That's right. So all this crap going on, and all this drama going on, with all this political uproar going on, and all this BS going on, and all that's just unnecessary. It's completely unnecessary. We've solved all those problems and more, by the way. A lot of problems that we've dealt with, because we've done it over 8-9 year period, and it's all ready, set up, and ready to go. All you got to do is sign up and start organizing it. Start reading those documents. Start reading the Constitution. Go to the ANU meetings on Tuesdays and ask questions and say, how do I get started? I want to start this union. I do this for a living. I do that for a living. So the American National Union is a national trade union, is what it is, and it's completely autonomous. even if it were found in the U.S. It would be autonomous there. Not subject to AFL-CIO. Not subject to anything like that. It's a national one. Even in the United States, it would be considered a national one, even if it was there, and still would not be subject to AFL-CIO. So they can't come in and start trying to control you with it legally. So people will come back and they'll say, "Are there any dues?" No, there's no dues in it. No dues are set and put in place. Nothing like that. And we have the voucher system to where you can go and work for somebody and just have them sign a voucher, and that that's put into your bank account. There's all kinds of really cool stuff here that we've got straightened out and fixed, and we keep getting people coming in, trying to, well, of course, trying to control it. Don't kick me out. They're trying to control it, and they want to destroy it if they can't control it. All this BS. It's been sitting here for a long time, guys. So if you want to do it, quit listening to these people that are sitting there and say, "Well, if I do my declaration of this and status and all this crap," that trade union over there don't care about that. They never will. You are subject to the Department of Labor, the federal, because you're in some kind of AFL-CIO labor union and you don't even know it. Why do you think that they say, well, if you give up your voting rights, then you're out? No, you're not. Because they'll vote for you. You see, those parties stole your identity and they vote for you. Probably didn't know that, did you? That's why they steal the identity of dead people and have votes. They make up votes. They fill out voters cards. We have affidavits on that, and they do all this other crap. And it's just no reason to do that, and to make that makes people's lives hell. And that's exactly what they're doing. Think about it, folks. Just before I call it a night on this, think about it. If people are upset over 32 people being shot and killed in a Walmart and in a bar, think about it. Think about it real hard. What if there were 1,000 a day in a civil war or in some kind of race war? What if there were 5,000 a day? You think you'll be upset over that? If you're so upset, you're trying to give up all your rights to guns and everything so you'll feel safe. Imagine 5,000 people dying a day. How upset you going to be with that? Okay? If you're that upset over 30-something people dying in a store, imagine what a civil war will be. So we all might want to sit it back a little bit, because what the other side doesn't understand is this. Do you want to go here, John? Just want to warn them?
Yeah, I would.
Okay. We're going to warn you. And we're going to warn guys like Nadler. We're going to warn guys like in the Republican Party and the Democratic Party, the police officers, the judges, the lawyers, the town councils, all that stuff. And this is on the street. We don't know who's who. Okay? Just keep in mind. So trying to torture us for information is not going to get anywhere, because we don't know exactly who's who. But we can tell you there is an actual plan. We do know that. The plan is, and none of this is written down in case these guys or these people get raided. So nobody knows. Okay? There's a thing called assignments. Okay? And each one of the people are assigned an officer or a local sheriff or a member of the council or a judge or a lawyer. All of them are assigned to kill them during any kind of civil war. It's all unwritten. It's just verbal. That type of deal. So you guys have like a guy like Don Lemon. Okay, he's on the list with CNN. People in MSNBC, people in ABC, CBS. They're all on the list. People in Hollywood, people in office right now, Democrats, Republicans, all these prominent guys, they're not going to be able to be here. Once it starts, it doesn't start. It don't end until those people are either gone out of the country or dead. Because everybody's sick and tired of. They think they're going to be hiding. They think they're going to be protected by the U.S. military. They got something coming because everybody is watching and they're writing down things and they're paying attention to what's going on and they're seeing all this shit. And members of Antifa are done. They're over. And I'm not advocating for this. I'm just warning you and telling you that we are aware of it. The government of the United States of America is aware of it. I don't want to see any of that crap happen. Ever since I started getting to know Jesus, I don't want nothing to do with all that crap. Nothing. It's ridiculous. Go ahead, John.
Let's put it this way to them, and that maybe they can understand. How many people died in the war between the states? 700,000 people in 4 years.
Right.
Muzzle loaders, single shot rifles. How much do you think they could destroy today with the type of weapons they got in just 1 year? That's what a civil war in this country would be like. They won't be just a few. There will be multiple thousand daily to go down. This I am not looking forward to.
No, I'm not either. At all. I don't want to see that. I don't want to be a part of it. I don't care how much they've actually screwed me over. I don't want to see them all get freaking wiped out like that because that's what will happen. It's exactly what will happen. If you're going to rely on the police, they're outnumbered, what, freaking 20 to 1? If not more.
Yep.
They don't have a chance in prayer. They have nothing. It would have to be the U.S. military. Now, how's that going to look when it shows the U.S. military in international news all over the countries? That the U.S. military has pissed off basically a lot of countries. I mean, a lot of countries because they've been protecting the trade union, right? The International Trade Union are attacking what they call U.S. citizens and shooting and killing U.S. citizens. How that's going to look?
Civilians.
Civilians, yeah.
Armed and trained military coming against
Yeah.
basically home-owned arms. That'd be nice with it.
Oh yeah, that you're not going to survive that, guys. I'm just going to let the generals know you're not surviving that scenario. There's no way. Because even if you won and all that happened, and other countries got whiff of what you were doing, they are coming after you with war crimes bigger than shit, and you know it. There is no winner in that scenario. So, what needs to happen is the people that are sitting in there, you might want to forget your Satanism bullshit. Okay, it's not going anywhere for you, and you might want to forget a whole power thing because nobody really listens to you anyways. Okay, nobody listens to your laws at all. You may get one or two and force those laws upon them, but the rest of the people basically give you the finger all the time. Nobody respects you. Nobody respects them. Doesn't matter who they are. Okay, so you have to realize that you guys are headed down a road that nobody wants to follow. You're going to be there on your own. And all this thing about trainees and everything that you're doing here, this is not a road you want to be down. Okay? You don't want to go down that road. Believe me. Go look up the word perish in the Bible. Find out what that is, if you even care. So basically, what we need to do is everybody needs to step back, and you need to clean it up. Start knocking a lot of these porn sites off the internet. I think there was one country that had to shut all the pornography down to get everybody to vote because they were all sitting there watching pornography all day. It was on voting day, so they shut all the pornography off the internet completely. Believe me, that's what people do most of the day. That's why there's a lot of child porn in DOD and all that, and the Pentagon. They sit and watch that crap all day long rather than sitting at work. You got to shut all that off. You want to get something done? Shut it all off. Everybody's going to go, no, no, no. Yeah, well, it'd be a good idea if you did. Start cleaning it up. It's got to clean up. Okay? No one's going to survive this thing and live well after any kind of civil war, any kind of race war. No one's going to survive that well. That's not going to happen. You don't want to be there. You don't want to be involved in that because once the first bullet goes into the human being, you're going to be puking all over the place. You think you want it. You think it's going to make some change, but it's not. It's not going to change anything. It's going to be nothing but hurt feelings on both sides, and it's going to keep going until you're all dead. You will not quit until the other guy's dead and you've won. You think you've won. You don't want to go there, guys. I'm telling you.
Even if they win, Keith, what will they win?
Nothing.
Everything out there will be destroyed.
Yeah.
There'd be no building standing. There'd be no food. You'd be scared to walk in the field. You wouldn't know whether there's undetonated arms out there or anything else. It's not worth it. Even the winner's not worth it to them. Cost them too much to rebuild it.
Right. Just talk to Iraq. What that's like. When their whole freaking state or their whole city was destroyed. Just talk to them about rebuilding and what happens then. And all of the mines. I think Princess Diana was starting to bring up all the mines that are out there. MINES. They're still there. Still in Vietnam. People are still getting their arms and legs blown off. That was from 1960s and 70s. They're all still out there. Unexploded this. It doesn't go away, guys. And the horror doesn't end. Your head's all messed up because you done killed freaking children, women and children, because that's how civil wars go. A lot of women and children are killed in civil wars. You're out there shooting children, man. Not cool. Not cool, bro. You don't want that on your conscience. So, you're being fairly warned right now. So, Nadler, once you start this civil war, because I know it's where you're going, I'm letting you know. You better have a place to go across the pond, and don't ever think you're coming back. You are done. You are homeless and you are stateless for the rest of your days, and so will your family.
Do you think that the other countries allow people like that to live over there?
I doubt it. Better have some good friends, good cartel friends.
Well, the thing of it is, if they do that to their own country, what would they do to somebody else's?
That's right. People like AOC, people like the Fab Four or whatever they call them, the friggin' squad and all that. Those girls are gone.
Their people won't even want them back at their own home.
Nope.
In their own country.
So we're telling you, you got to start thinking reality here. It's not us that are saying this. I'm just saying you got to start looking at these scenarios because civil wars are very uncontrollable. Very uncontrollable. And believe me, people have, when they're scared like that, they do some crazy shit. They burn down a lot of stuff. And the more you make them feel helpless and powerless, the worse you are making things. The worse you're doing it. It's not good. You're pushing them to revolution. You're pushing them to freaking civil war. And you guys are the most, what, all the Democrats and Republicans? You think the Republicans are going to get out of that? No. They're already after you. Some of them, they don't even care if they come to your house, man. They'll come to your house, start threatening you right there in front of your wife and children. They don't give a shit about y'all anymore. Y'all need to calm this down and fix it now, and not red what do you call it, red flag laws. That's no, that's not good, man. I'm telling you, not a good thing to do. All right, so check your history. I'll on civil wars and figure out what it's like. Not a good idea. All right, thanks for listening to the 140th broadcast of the T Row Show. We will see you next week.